Andrew said to me, let's go meet him. Let's see if we can meet him. And so we made our way through all the people. And I remember when we came to Jesus, there was a line. And we got into line, we waited our turn, and we just got into line. And I remember at one point, I was turned this way, talking. Knowing me, just talking to some stranger. And I'm talking, and I remember I turned. For the first time in my life, I was looking into the eyes of Jesus. The moment I looked into his eyes, there was no doubt in my mind as to who he was. I said to him, Rabbi, I am Simon Bar Jonah, son of John. And he looked me into the eyes, and he shook his head, and he said, no. You are Peter. He called me Peter. As I told you, I knew what he meant at the time. I would learn it would be 3 years later at a place called Solomon's Portico. But I believe that Jesus spoke in parables. Do you know parables? Stories, yes? Mainly for me. To help me to understand. And may I confess something to you? Half the times I did not understand the parables. Do you have that problem? Yes? May I tell you what I would do? I'd go to Jesus and I'd say, story, Jesus. May I speak with you privately, please? No. I always wanted to speak privately. I didn't want the others to know that I did not understand, yes? And every time he would say yes, and we would go off together by ourselves, and I'd say to him, Jesus, that story, faith the size of a mustard seed, the smallest of all seeds, can move mountains. Explain that to me. And do you know, every time I would ask him to explain, he would. And when he finished, I'd always do, of course, yeah, silly me, yeah. Small faith, big mountain move. Half the time I did not understand the explanation. But I did not tell him that, yes? Well, I went back to Lake Gennesaret, and what was I doing? Hello, Moots. What was I doing? Who said fishing? No. Do I have to start from the beginning and remind you? What was I doing? I was mending those nets, exactly right. And I remember I was there, and I was down on the ground, and I was working on my nets. And all of a sudden I looked up, and right in front of me was Jesus. Let me tell you something. Jesus was the quietest walker of anyone I've ever known. You know, I used to tell my friends, be careful, Jesus might be right next to you. And I looked up to him and I say, Rabbi, what brings you to this area? And do you know, he just looked at me and he said, how was fishing last night? And I said, Rabbi, don't ask. Don't ask. I'm not going to tell you. It was so bad, it's the worst night ever. I'm not going to tell you. And Jesus said, those nets you're working on, and I'd like you to put them onto your boat right now, and I'd like you to go out onto the lake. I'd like you to the center of the lake. Now, do we have any fish here? Anybody? You? Are you good? Well then, yeah, come up here. I need your help. You don't say no to St. Peter. Come on now. Come on. What's your name? John. I know a John. Yes. Do you write?
Do I write? No.
You don't write, but you fish.
I fish.
How long have you been fishing, John?
A few years.
A few years? Like a lot of years.
A lot of years.
And you like fishing?
Yeah.
And are you good?
I try.
Okay, John, I have a question for you. What is the best time of day to catch fish? Evening, or early morning, or evening, yes? Jesus is telling me to go in the middle of the day. You don't catch fish. So you're saying, yeah, no, you are. You're here. So, No, I need your help, John, because, no. I said to Jesus, I said, you don't catch fish this time of day. Fish are doing other things, yes? They're doing fish things, yes?
Jesus will catch fish, and I won't.
We're talking about you and me, okay? And so we go out, and second, you go out early morning or in the evening, yes? And where on the lake do you catch fish? And don't tell me in the water, I know that. No, that's in the water. Where in the ocean do you catch? Where on the water? The sides, the inlets? No. Further out. That's because on a lake, where I am in Lake Gennesaret, we catch them on the sides and the inlets. Jesus is saying, go to the center of the lake. You don't catch a fish at the center of the lake. I wish you were there to help me tell Jesus he was wrong, because you're good at it, John. Also, John, we the left side of the boat. And why is that?
I have no clue.
A tradition, John. It's a tradition. And Jesus is telling me to throw it off the right side, the other side. I learned with Jesus, he is oftentimes telling me to do something different than I was used to. Yes? So you know what I said to Jesus? I looked at him and I said, I can tell you are a carpenter because you know absolutely nothing about fishing. John, thank you. Thank you very much. I'll tell you something else I learned about Jesus. The more you argue with him, the more he just stands there and looks at you. Gives you plenty of time to realize that he might be right. Yes? So I got tired of arguing, and I said, fine, I'll do it. And I got my nets, and I put them onto the boat, and I'm going to the center of the lake. And I went out for one reason alone. Do you know what it was? To prove him wrong. God help me. Yes? So I get to the center of the lake. Out of habit, I begin to throw the nets off the left side. And I said, no. The fisherman, he said off the right. So I take the nets, I throw them off the other side. Do you know what happened, my beloved? It was as if the nets themselves were bait. Never in my life had I seen such a thing. The fish just swam into it. I had to call to my friends, James, John, bring your boats. Do you know that day 3 boats to overcapacity? Got back to shore, I went to Jesus and I dropped down to my knees and I said, please forgive me. Now leave my sight. I am a sinful man. And you know, Jesus put his hands onto my stand. He said, Simon Peter, son of John, will you follow me? He asked me to follow him. And I looked at him and I said, yes. I said, yes, I will follow you. He said, I will make you a fisher of men. I had no idea what he was talking about, throwing nets on people. No, but the Romans did it, did they not? Yeah. So I asked him where he was staying when he was in this area. He said he had nowhere to lay his head. So I asked if he would like to come with me and stay at my home in Capernaum, and he said he would.